Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Freeman Files here on the J Free 906 podcast channel. Tom Burns and I here with our good friend Corjan Mall. Corjan, how are you doing, sir?
Good evening, guys. Very well, yourselves?
I'm doing fantastic.
I'm
Tom,
doing
how you
great.
doing?
I'm doing great. Just another day of shoveling snow here in the Maritimes.
Shoveling snow.
Oh, okay.
You guys get a lot of snow up where you're at, Corjan?
No,
Nope.
very rare.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I tell you what, yeah, these and not down here either. I happen to still be in Florida, but leaving very, very soon. So that's coming to a quick end, unfortunately, and back to the colder weather. But hey, folks, thank you for joining us here tonight. We appreciate it very much on this week off of the Curse of Oak Island TV episodes. We normally do our reviews here on Wednesday nights, as you all know. So what we did, we got a hold of Corjan because we saw he came out with a fantastic new website. And I said, oh, Corjan, man, this thing is awesome. We need to get you on to talk about this a little bit. So tell me a little bit. I mean, how did this all come about?
Well, it was a bit of coincidence, actually. I mean, I had half an idea to, at some stage, build an Oak Island website, or to bring my own research together and just make a resource for people, whether you're a huge fan or just, someone who's casually interested. But I don't really have the time to do stuff like that. And then a few weeks ago, I happened to be doing some work, and I checked some website domains, and to my utter surprise, I noticed that the curseofoakisland.com was available as a domain.
That's crazy.
Wow. I guess,
and
yeah.
I couldn't believe it, so I registered it, and I paid 11. Well, I shouldn't lie. I paid €10.99 for it, and then I was the owner, and so I thought, yeah, what the heck? Let's build a website, and then things got a little bit out of hand, as they sometimes do. So I spent quite a bit of time in the last 2 weeks. Because I thought, now it's there, and I got to make it perfect, and there we are.
Yeah, I tell you what, this thing is amazing. And folks, that's what we're here talking about tonight is the new website, thecurseofoakisland.com. And like Corjan says, amazingly, the URL was available. The domain was available to pick it up, and that's crazy because I probably would have bought it just because. I know.
Yeah, you think that would have been gone like years ago?
Yeah, exactly.
I couldn't believe it. I really couldn't believe it.
Yeah. So as soon as we found out about it, as soon as you made a Facebook post about it, I went out and looked, and I was like immediately jaw dropping. I mean, I have some different screens here. Actually, I have the website up on another screen here, and we'll display that here in a moment. But and obviously several of these pages are AI generated, but that's cool because it's showing movement like this. Well, I'm going to bring up the first page right here. This one right here, the main page. You got the ship sitting there and it's rocking back and forth in the waves. You got people walking on the beach there by the tents. I mean, this is so cool, but that's just the eye candy, if you will, on some of it.
Well, I always wondered, what it would have been like at the time, in the Middle Ages, or in the colonial period, or the 18th, 19th century, when people started searching. And now, with AI, you can bring that period back to life. And it's something you need to be careful with. But I just made this AI TV series for the History Channel, Streets of the Past. So got some insight, in how you can do this, how you can apply AI, to historical situations, and I thought, why not do this to Oak Island and see what it looked like at the time. And in the end, I mean, these are AI images. I mean, it's not an AI website. It's images I made, with artificial intelligence. and I use AI for the coding because I'm not a coder. I can't write software, but AI helped me to code this website. I made the images with it, and then when you're finished, you have a pretty cool product that looks the part, and it really gives you an idea of what Oak Island looked like through the centuries. And I thought it was really important to try and bring that across and use whatever technology we have today
I mean,
uh,
how many
to,
times?
to to help us bring it to life.
Yeah, like I mean, how many times have we talked about timeline, Jeff?
Oh, I
Who's
know.
who was there when? Not just in terms of
Yeah,
Yeah.
who was working on the island, but who was investing in the island, who was poking around on the island.
Mhm.
Like it's folks. Like if you're gonna want to look at it, I'll tell you, I had it bookmarked as a favorite within like 5 minutes. So
Yes, me too.
well, mind you,
um,
I always had this. I always had a big timeline that I use for my research. But now, for the first time, I made it public, and I love the functionality. So, and this is, mind you, this is only part of what I have, but this is everything that's sort of publicly available. And then on the left, I decided to put these bars. So if you scroll down, you can see what period you're in. So all the way up to today, if they find a coin and it's 16th century, you can scroll down. You go to the 1530s. Then you look on the left. You go, hey, what was going on at the time?
Yep.
And I thought that was really useful.
Very.
And
And there you have
and
a
it didn't
question.
exist. So yeah, I
Yeah.
thought let's build it.
Yep. Yeah, this is awesome. And like Tom was saying, this is something Tom and I was talking about, trying to do a show about the timeline of, all the different people who could have visited the Oak Island over the years. And you had a question right there from Brian. I said, Corin, could you add a spreadsheet of the island finds that correlate to your timeline? Um, I don't know how
I
much time
have.
you have in your world. Oh, you have already?
there's a
I
list of
have I
artifacts,
have already. So if you go to where is it? Evidence, and then I think it's the artifact
evidence, and
vault.
artifacts. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
right here.
there you
Artifact
go.
vault. Oh, look at
This
that.
is 170 items. I don't know how many do I have now there. I think 170, 180 items that were found on the island. And then if you go to the bar on the left, you see timeline.
Yep.
There you go. And this
Oh,
puts
look at that.
everything.
Oh yeah.
I mean, for as far as we know, the dates, because often dates are a range, and
Yeah.
I don't know everything about everything. And again, this is publicly available information, so we're not looking into the official Oak Island research database.
Right.
But I mean, it's cool enough. So it has the images, it has what I could find about what I know about it and stuff from my personal archive, and I think it's a pretty cool resource. How many lead seals were found, where were they from, and you can, if you go to the top and go back to the grid, you can sort by location, all the way on the top there on the left. If you click the grid, Jeff.
Oh, grid. Okay. Yep. Right there.
Yeah, there you go, sir. You can sort by location, by type, by lot.
Yep.
Oh,
So if you
wow.
go to all locations, look at me, I'm pointing at your screen there, it doesn't work, right?
All locations. Yep.
So if you go lot 5, for example, you can see how many
35
finds
times.
were recorded there, and you can scroll down and have a look at them. And I thought that was something I was always missing. So I thought, let's build that.
Oh,
It's,
yeah.
it's
There's
great.
that stone
Great
that.
if you're someone like me that's always in there poking around, going like, okay, so when did they find this, and where was that at? And you're
Yeah,
trying to connect a
exactly.
couple of dots, and you can go in there and find it. Like, bam, there it is.
Yeah, well, I'm like that, and I thought that's amazing. And for anyone listening or watching, if you have anything you're missing, let me know, and I'll try to put it on there as soon as I can. I think it's important. It's as complete as possible, and so everybody can have a look at it, and we can, lay the connections.
This
You
is
know,
fantastic.
so yeah, and then I thought, the other thing I always wanted to see, and that I mean, some websites do have it, but most of them are very outdated or don't work very well. Is an interactive map. So if you go to Explore and you get an interactive map of the island.
Yep.
So I mean, and this is work in progress, but you can click the locations and see, what location is this? What happened there? Now, what sort of artifact? And I'm going to cross-reference all this stuff. And then the absolute coolest thing is that if you click this box away on the right, there's a little X there next to Smith's Cove at the top.
Let's see.
Up,
Yep.
yeah. And you click lot ownership at the bottom.
That's
and
a cool
this is
one.
something I always wanted to have, and this is not my information. David Neeson and Chris Bose in their book, The Oak Island Mystery Trees, they did so much research. It's just unbelievable, amazing book, and I think one of the best archives available on the market at the moment. What they did is they compiled lists of the owners of the Oak Island lots, and I asked them for permission to use that for my website. So if you press the play button at the bottom,
here we go.
there on the left, you can actually see the lots changing hands.
Oh, this is
time.
crazy.
So,
and the time ticking away up here on the top.
Yeah, so you see the time ticking away in the top right. And this will tell you exactly, who owned what lot on Oak Island in what year. It's just absolutely amazing, and it's quite revealing. I mean,
it is
some names there that I certainly didn't know that owned, some of the important lots. And the most fun thing is if you would click 1795, the alleged discovery of the money pit. So if you can click on the timeline, Jeff. So if you click near 1800 and just push the slider to 1795. So the story. 3 boys saw a light on Oak Island, which supposedly was uninhabited at the time. Well, look at this, and look who owned the money pit lot. There was Smith.
Yep.
Yeah,
one of the 3 boys. So this sort of puts the whole origin story upside down, and it's interesting to look at that, to consider, and to see what that means. It's quite revealing. So I'm very grateful to Dave and Chris for letting me use this.
If you follow that timeline, we've always said all along, these guys were all connected, and they always, one guy had his hand in the other guy's pocket. But when you follow that map along, you find out just how connected these families actually were.
Yeah,
it's like life itself. You see how people own lots, they pass away, and the lot passes on to their heirs, who sell it on, to someone else, all the way up to today, where you see that almost all of the island is owned by Oak Island Tours, which is the company of the Laginas, obviously. And it's really, really cool. I've so much enjoyed, bringing the mystery to life this way. By far, the interactive map and plus the artifact vault, I think, are the coolest things on the website. And I think the genre and to some extent the show needed this. Mind you, I told the History Channel that I bought the domain, and they couldn't believe it either. That was a bit of fun.
Who would even think to look? You'd automatically assume that it was gone.
I assume they would have had it already. Blows my mind that it was there. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you bring it right to the end. Yeah, 2025, and there you go. You got and I was wondering about this lot right here. That's what does it say here? Alan Kraziwa?
Yeah, he's one of the associates of Oak Island Tours.
Yep.
And then there's a Mr. Johnson somewhere.
I don't see that one on there, but
yeah. I think
Nolan's right here. Yeah, lot be what 15, 14.
John Johnson. Yeah, apparently. No idea who he is, but he's the lucky owner of a lot on Oak Island.
Wow. Yeah, part of the swamp.
Yeah, it's amazing, huh?
Yeah, it is amazing. And then Nolan, of course, and everything else. Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
This is so cool, Corey. And I mean, I just, I mean, it's one thing to put together, and I believe me, I know about trying to put together a website because I have my own J4906, but trying to make it something like this, oh my gosh, I can't imagine the hours that have been put into this to make this happen. This is crazy. I mean, this came about in a few weeks.
Yeah. This is 2 weeks work. Yeah.
And the pages are all different sections. Are all user friendly.
Yeah,
you can go in there and click around and experiment and play and look at it
Yeah,
differently.
and they all have pictures of the island. I think one of my favorite pictures is if you go to the search function there on the top right. There's the little spyglass. So I always wanted to have a picture of the French Armada arriving in Halifax in 1746. And this is probably sort of what it looked like. Which I mean, this is when the little boy inside me wakes up and goes bananas. I mean, it looks so cool, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I had missed this one. I did try to get through this thing and look at most of it, but there's so much of it I missed. This is crazy. I love this. This is absolutely fascinating.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I had so much fun, and I hope people enjoy this. So there's an Oak Island image, on every page. They're all different, and it was a lot of fun. And again, if anyone has any suggestions for stuff that I should add, or I mean, there's a glossary here. There's a frequently asked questions. There's everything Oak Island you can shake a stick at.
Wow. And it's only going to grow from here, I would imagine, right? So.
Oh yeah, so I've been talking to David a little bit, who has this ginormous archive of documents and research material. And he was looking for a way to make that available to people. So maybe we can use some of that. Yeah, and then I have, of course, my own stuff.
Yeah.
Wow. Which is, but there's a lot, and not everything is useful, and not everything adds to the story, and I've tried not to overwhelm people too much. So it should give you, if you go to the homepage, Jeff. So just click the Oak Island. Yeah, there you go. If you scroll down, the website will sort of. So there's the money pit.
Yeah.
There's FDR.
Yep.
And
FDR.
if you go down, if you scroll down, the website will sort of casually drag you in, give you more and more information, etc. And and gets deeper and wider from there. I mean, that was the idea. I mean, so a lot of information. Try to present it in the best possible way. There I am, and and there you go. Oh, and also I included descriptions for every episode ever of the Curse.
I saw that. That's crazy right here. I mean, just that alone has got to be amazing. Like season 1, 5 episodes, and you can see not only do you get to go through this, but I mean, this is going to be like my source. Because we were just talking about. We kind of went back. Last week, Tom and we kind of went back to season 4 when they put the very first case on in the money pit.
Oh yeah.
Season 4, episode 5, and it took me a while to go find it and find that information. Now, obviously, that's some of the details. Some of the if they didn't have it in the description very well, you may or may not have it on here. But I mean, the key discoveries that you've got on here, the key people. I mean, that's amazing. It's I can't. I'm so overwhelmed by the work you put into this. You guys all put into this. It's crazy.
It's a labor of love, and in the end, for this section, I'd like to have every theorist, every researcher that was ever on an episode. I'd like to have them in here. Just because I don't know, that's who I am. I like to have stuff complete and neatly organized, structured. This is I guess it's a bit of a peep into my brain. It's a bit scary when you think of it, but this is how my brain functions. I like structure, and I like to have the facts complete.
Yeah. Wow. Now, have you talked to them since you told them, that you bought the domain? Have you talked to them since about the site? Are you kind of working? I'm
I
with
have, yeah.
Okay, and everything is, I mean, I know that everything is gonna be cool because you're helping not only to give, like you said before, and this is what I really liked what you said. For the people who are really into it, the enthusiast of Oak Island, the TV show, The Curse of Oak Island, but also those who may just in passing go, "Yeah, I heard about it," but, and that's what I wanna try to really, and when I saw this, I thought, "Let's have you on," because I really wanted to do our part, Tom and I and Linda, to help get this word out to people that this is here, because so many times, and Tom, I'm sure Tom has seen, I know Linda has heard this many times. Oh, they never find anything on that island. Oh, really?
Oh, really? Yeah.
Let me
Yeah.
show you something. Go here and have a look for yourself if you want to say they never find anything on that show. What they
Yeah.
mean is they never find the treasure. Okay, they haven't found the treasure yet. But in my mind, the history that they've been finding is treasure in itself. A lot of people don't agree with that, or some people don't agree with that, but I certainly do.
Well, I'm certainly going to be showing that link to people around here. I mean, I live like literally as the crow flies, about 100 miles from Oak Island,
Mhm.
and different people.
You're a lucky man.
You're sitting down, and people go, Oak Island. You see your hat or something. They go, Oak Island. Did they ever find anything there? What's going on? Is that a real story?
Are they
And
still
like,
doing that?
here it is. It's just like, kind of over the bay and across a little bit of a piece of land, and you're there, and people have no idea what's going on down there. None. I can't wait to show it to people.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm the same way, and Tom is so right, because I wear this hoodie a lot around, and I have a T-shirt that says the same thing on it or whatever, and I wear it around, and people will look at it and Oak Island, what, and so some have heard of it, some have never heard of it at all. They don't have a clue. Oh, is that in North Carolina? No, no, wrong Oak Island. It's the one up in Nova Scotia.
Yeah.
Oh, Nova Scotia. Yeah, okay.
There's a few of them, right?
Mm.
Yeah, there is a
There's only
couple of them.
one that matters.
Yeah, yeah, so true. So, man, like I said, applauds. Anybody have any questions for Corjan about the site? Are the artifacts from Robert Young part of this site? There's a question for you.
I think I have the Hansford rock on
Yeah,
there.
you had the rock with the lines on it. I saw that.
Yeah, yeah. Because I got that photo from someone at some stage. The rest is not on there because I don't like to put stuff on there without asking for
You can
permission.
have permission.
So
For
I'm
sure.
I'm looking for a way to get that.
Mhm. Well, so we're waiting for the questions to pop up. Michelle Tormier sent me a question that she wanted me to ask you. She's been looking into various Knight Templar grave sites, and they have on the top of the tombs. They usually have a shape or a figure or a representation of the knight, and at the feet of the knight, they're usually feet are next to an animal or on an animal. It looks like a lion. Any idea what that's supposed to represent?
Well, there's a few things. I think the official line here is that Templars were usually buried in their house dress, so in their mantles, without any arms. And there's a few examples of that. One is here in Villers-le-Temple, very close to where I live. And I think another one is near La Rochelle, where you have, confirmed Templar tombs where people are buried in their house dress. So not in armor or not carrying swords. Now, where it gets a bit convoluted, I guess, for example, Templar Church in London is very well known. There's a number of tombs there that have knights. Some of them with one leg crossed, and many of them have animals at their feet. I think it was a custom to display your dog at your feet, as your loyal companion. And sometimes there'd be a reference to your coat of arms. So if there would be a lion in your coat of arms, you'd have a dog. Your dog would be portrayed as a lion at your feet. It's a persistent idea that Templars were generally buried with one leg crossed, but it's not uniquely Templars that were buried like that. I think some of the people in Templar Church even were, they weren't Templars. They were close to the Templars. They worked together with Templars. They were Templar patrons, but they weren't knights of the Temple themselves. I think the most common idea about this cross leg is that they were people that had gone on a crusade. So that would represent, the cross and the fact that you had taken the cross and been to the Holy Land and returned, and then on your death you would be buried in a position that would remember that. It's very hard to prove because it hasn't been recorded throughout the ages, and there's a lot of examples, but they're not unique. It's not a consistent pattern, so very hard to say. But I think I went on a crusade, or I took the cross explanation is plausible. Yeah.
Interesting. Until she mentioned it, I had never crossed
I
my
didn't
mind.
know. Yeah,
Never
I
crossed my
didn't
mind.
either.
So kudos to her for paying attention to details.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
Yeah,
And
for
it's
sure.
a great. If you're ever in London, go see Temple Church. It's an absolutely fantastic site, and it does show how intertwined the Royal House of England was to the Knights Templar. So King John, the King John that we know from bad King John that we know from the Robin Hood stories, was surrounded by Knights Templar. So the royal wardrobe, the royal treasury, was actually in the temple in London and kept by Templars at the time. So they were very, very important in organizing the state of England at the time. They had very high offices, and they basically did all what we would now call the COO, the Chief Operations Officer of the realm, was a Knight Templar.
Cool.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's Michelle there.
My pleasure, Michelle.
Yeah, I do have a picture. There's that rock
Yeah,
on Robert Young's property, or he found that, I guess. And again,
yeah.
that is, in my opinion, I don't know what they've. Well, we can look right here to see what's kind of been said about it, but that rock has been carved. I mean, I'm sorry, for what purpose? What does it mean? Have no idea. But I mean, there's no way that Glacier pushing that thing around carved it like that, in my opinion, anyway.
No, especially it's not on this side, but if you look at the other side of this rock, it's absolutely clean. So this is only one side of it, and
One side.
the carvings go in various directions. So yeah, and it goes to show. I think even on Oak Island, I think we lost more than they found.
Yeah, I seen a question pop up, and I had Linda put it up on the bottom, talking about the boulder on lot 8 that they found, that they're getting ready to in a couple of future episodes here. I'm hoping they're going to actually lift this thing up, and I mean, it looks like they're going to. They've been talking about it quite a bit. And again, we're delving into a point here where I hate to ask that question because you may not be able to give us an answer, but if you don't know, do you have a clue or any idea what might be under it? What it might be?
I was on the island last
Okay.
year,
Okay.
and I looked at this thing,
Oh,
in amazement. The only word that I have for a rock that size is megalith. It's it is it is huge. It is so big, and the way, and you've seen this on the show, so I can share the way it's positioned. It's like a ring of smaller stones.
yes.
This big stone is put on top of it. I mean, there's dozens of examples of this in Europe.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that look the spitting image. If you go to Brittany, northern Spain, Brittany, France, I mean, northern Spain, you will find examples of this. And there's one or two in central France, in the Oise Valley, north of Paris. in Europe, these are tombs. So megalithic tombs. Even in the Netherlands, we have one or two examples. They're a little bit different, but the pattern is the same. They took these huge stones with small stones around it to create, a cavity to support the bigger stones, and they would bury someone under it.
Mhm.
Oh, wow.
The problem is that you hardly ever find anything back because over time anything that remains of a human being is consumed
Right.
by the ground,
Yep.
especially if it's a bit acid, like it is on Oak Island.
Mhm.
You would probably never know if anyone's buried below it. But it to me, it looks man-made. It looks very, very, very old, much older than the scope of the mystery of Oak Island that we're discussing.
Yeah.
And it looks very much like some stuff we have over here in Europe, where we know that it's tombs, or at least something with a ritual purpose.
Mhm.
It's a crazy interesting feature to have on an island, in Nova Scotia. And it goes to show. I mean, how many more of these do you have? I mean, I'm sure everybody who is in Nova Scotia or has been to Nova Scotia know how many boulders there are and how many there are of this size. I mean, there might be dozens or hundreds, positioned in the same way. You would never know. I mean, this one you catch because it has the attention of a global audience and a well-funded search operation.
Mhm.
Right.
But normally you would walk right past something like this. But it looks. It looks like a megalith. That's
Yeah.
what it is.
Wow.
I
This
don't
is
think
crazy.
there's, I don't think there's any doubt that man had a hand in placing
No,
it or positioning it, or
not in my mind.
I mean, stones just don't fall that way.
No. No.
You know.
Yeah. And that's the thing for me too on this one. I'm hoping that they can get a date. We know that Ian Spooner has taken some of the dirt samples out from underneath it, and there was some pieces of wood found underneath it. So hopefully we can get a date. That's my main thing. Even if they pick this thing up, and we talked about last week's episode because Fiona was running the snake cam in there, and she saw what looked to her like gold. Um, excuse me, bits of gold. And so that was the big rage. Oh, there's gold underneath there. Well, maybe not, but let's just work on this a little bit further and find out what it is. But for me, knowing, like Tom said and you've said, knowing that it's been placed there by mankind. Second point is if you can find out when it was placed there by mankind, or get a good, like, a bit of a time frame, that right there, in my mind, will tell us volumes of information. Then you can kind of start to connect maybe who had placed it there.
Yeah, the problem with Oak Island is, if in, and I apologize for referencing, Europe again, but on this side of the Atlantic, if we date something like this or examine something like this, the context is very important. So if you know that it's part of a group of things, or it was an area where certain people lived in a certain time, it sort of gives you a preconceived idea of what it can be. And then if the results of the dating or the carving or whatever fits that pattern, it becomes easier to draw conclusions and to say something about the provenance, or who put it there and when. Yeah, on Oak Island, that's that's a difficult thing because it's a small place, and not a lot of of archaeological research has been done around it, and moreover, a big rock is not is not something rare, in the surrounding, right?
Yeah.
So it's I guess it's much harder to date something like that, or to even start the researches, because it's also so contrary to what is officially historically what is the historical canon of the area.
Yep.
So to suggest that something's there that is perhaps, I don't know, but in Europe, these things are Bronze Age. So that's, what is it,
Wow.
3,500, 5,000 years ago.
Wow.
To put that out there for North America is swearing in church a little bit, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Templars were soldiers. I was just reading some of the chat here. Templars were soldiers, not engineers, but there were many people who were engineers and builders within the I don't know if you'd call it within their ranks or within their group. How would you describe that? The engineers, the builders, the people, the masons, the guys that farriers, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
They're
So
all
I guess, yeah, with these type of people have been part of their supporting cast, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean the Knights Templar are always, displayed, with their swords and thought of as these mighty crusaders and fearless warriors, and they were. I mean, they weren't afraid to die, because if they would die in battle, their place in heaven was, was guaranteed.
Yep.
So they fought without fear, and they were feared for that. But in my mind, the real success of the Knights Templar wasn't their skill in battle, but was their administrative organization. So, I mean, I guess the Church of Rome and the Knights Templar, were two of the first multinationals, and two of the first organizations who were, incredibly successful in organizing stuff, flows of people, money, goods over huge distances,
Yep.
which made them, enormously powerful. Much like today, where there's power in the financial system, there's power in organizing stuff over distances, in operating enterprises or factories. I mean, that's exactly what they did. So they had a small section of the Knights Templar were knights, that went to battle, and that were, I mean, their reason of existence was basically to defend the holy places, to defend the Holy Land. But that was only a small part of their people. The rest of the people were, in the rest of the known world, generating the money to fund all their operations in the East. And in the end, I think, that's where they've been a lot more successful than in battle.
Yep. Yeah.
The-
Great explanation. Go ahead, Tom.
I was going to say the logistics of pulling that all off over, covering across all of Europe, down over towards Asia, the logistics of pulling that off at that time, in that age, just blows the mind.
That is crazy. That is really crazy. I mean, Chris Morford and I, we did a lot of research for our book, The Jerusalem Files, into some of these logistics. And one of my favorite stories is King Louis IX of France, who's now known as Saint Louis. He was canonized after his death. He had his flagship called the Montjoie, which could transport, bear with me, I think it was something like 500 people and horses. And this is in the 13th century. And then, for example, the Knights of Malta, so Philip de Villiers of Isle-Adam, so the illustrious leader of the Knights, of the Knights Hospitaller, who had to flee Rhodes. This is the story of him withstanding an army of Turks, 100,000 Turks with 600 knights and a few thousand men. So the Sultan was so impressed by his bravery that he gave him free passage. Around the time that they left Rhodes, Philip de Villiers took possession of a ship that he had commissioned. So in the south of France, a ship was made for him called the Santa Ana, which had a forge on it, a chapel, gardens, and it could hold, an enormous amount of people. I think it was like 600-700 people, and this was the big flagship of the Knights Hospital that he arrived on in Malta in 1530. So they had some big ships and some big logistics going on. They took their horses, their carts, their everything, and were even, could sustain themselves for months, at sea, on the water, and it's mind-boggling. It really is.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I know it's really, really late there for you
It
at
is.
home
Yeah.
across the big pond. And so I don't want to keep you too long, but I did want to ask you before we conclude. And this kind of relates to when I asked you about doing this website and how you find the time, because I know that you are a very busy man. What have you been up to lately? What's been going on over the last 6, 8 months of your life that you can tell us about? What do you got happening besides starting book number 2, or
That I
working
can
out?
tell you about. Well, I'm doing loads of things. There's a number of speaker things coming up. I have a company where we do very different stuff than history. But I'd like to draw the parallels, and in this age where we can now use AI to make images of Oak Island in the 16th century. There's also a scary part about artificial intelligence,
Yes, there is.
and I thought a little bit about that, and I compare it to the age of exploration. How do you lead when you're off the map? Where do you lead people if nobody knows the way? And what inspired, what got into people that they would go on a boat across the ocean to a land they didn't know was there, and the motives were as old as humanity. It's economic, it's money, it's curiosity, it's reputation, all these things. And then if you dissect that a little, you find a number of patterns repeating that we can apply to today, to our own age of AI discovery. And so that's a subject I've been looking into and that I want to share more insights about. On the book front, if you mentioned that, yes, we are looking to write a follow-up for the Jerusalem Files. Chris was in Europe last week. You might have seen the photos on his Facebook. Did the most crazy cool tour that you can do over here, gathering material for the second book. If we can find the time, because we are now, so Watkins and Penguin Random House are publishers for the Jerusalem Files. They came to us and they asked if we can help them. Well, basically they asked if we can develop a book series for mid-graders. So that's kids 8 to 12-year-olds.
Wow.
That with a historic theme. So we signed a deal with them to develop a series of books that are based on real historic mysteries.
That's awesome.
And so pirate stories, Revolutionary War stories. I mean, the first book will come out in 2027, and it's it's been so cool writing this. So we finished the first book. And it's gonna be cool. I mean, we never wrote a children's book in our lives, and then we imagined, the first Harry Potter book was basically a mid-grader book. It was written by J.K. Rowling for kids 8 to 12 years old. Well, if you've seen the book, it's like this thick.
Yeah.
And I think everybody knows what happened to the content.
Yes.
So we thought about this, and then try to imagine what can a 10-year-old kid consume in terms of complexity. I mean, they watch Stranger Things on Netflix, right?
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah.
So they love a bit of complexity. Chris has got a 10-year-old for a daughter, Mia.
Yep.
Who's the most amazing girl in the world. So we decided to bring all that together, and we developed 6, 8, 10 plots, real mysteries, real history, in the location where it happened, that a group of kids uncover step by step, that you can follow. You can visit these locations. You can look at the documents, and it's it's been very, very cool. So it's not Oak Island, but it is history and it is mysteries, and there's going to be a series of them. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. I can't wait for that. That is so cool. Somebody, zombie driver, said, "How about a game?" I said, "Oh my gosh!" I'm sitting here thinking, "Oh yeah, Knights Templar game. You could be a Knight Templar and you can go out on crusades and stuff." Oh,
I mean, this is what AI does, man. Artificial intelligence has removed the barrier between your creativity and being able to execute it. I mean, you can now pretty much realize, well, as long as it's software, right? I mean, it can build my shed and it can't clean out my garage, unfortunately.
Not yet.
But, not yet. Not yet. No, I'm waiting for the first robot to arrive.
yeah, I know.
But
That I can afford. Yeah.
there you go. Yeah, so I've been busy. The business is running very well. The Oak Island research is continuing, year round. So also now, and it's been well, we're watching season 13 unfold now. It's been so interesting. It's been so interesting.
Yeah, it really is. And right now, the emphasis, well, according to what I was just reading, coming up, there's not going to be for those of you who are watching the show on a regular basis, there wasn't a show last night, and there won't be one next Tuesday. I think they got a couple drilling downs next week.
Drilling down next week,
yeah, one drilling down next week. Thank you, Linda. And then on the 24th, we're going to get back to episode number 15. And so we'll finally start to see what's going on. But I think they were talking about something very cool being found in the money pit. And they're still working on the boulder. And don't get too excited yet, because I don't think they're going to be able to pick it up just yet. It's going to be a little bit, I think, before we see them pick it up. And then there's something else too. And the swamp reveals a really interesting find. So you've got those three things going on right now to keep that going. But I assume that at some point, generally 3/4 of the way through the season, they start traveling. And I'm hoping that when they start traveling, that you're involved in this, Corjan, because I know that they love to go over to the UK and then meet up with you, and then you take them around to different places, you or Emiliano. So I'm hoping we're going to see you. I know you can't talk about that, but so that's generally what comes up in the latter parts of the season. So really looking forward to that. I think this season so far has been really, really good, and I can't wait to see what develops out of this. Is there going to be a season 14? We just simply don't know yet. But I'm not worried about that right now. I'm worried about finishing this one and seeing what comes of it. Also, now you've done some now, and I don't know what you can talk about here either, but you've done, other than Oak Island, you've done some TV work too, right? Is there anything on that front you can talk about?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, that's out. So History approached me if I was in for a bit of an experiment. And we ended up making, I think this is the first commercial AI TV, short format series anywhere. It's called Street of the Past. At the moment, it's only available in Dutch. We made 10 episodes. And basically what we did was we filmed 10 streets, squares in the Netherlands that are, well known to the people that live there. And then we time traveled using AI, bringing these places back to moments that they were, key in Dutch history. So we do two things. One is that we bring the place back to its historic splendor, which looks absolutely stunning. I mean, you can walk around in Rembrandt's studio, that sort of stuff. But the other thing is that it gave us a chance to show Dutch ingenuity. For example, we had a really flourishing fish market in Utrecht, which is 100 kilometers, from open water, which was possible because somewhere in the 14th century, someone had thought of, removing the inner workings of the fish. So you and then put salt on it so you could keep it longer. And with that, the fish became tradeware, right? Something you could trade and ship around the world, without deterring, without rotting. So we have 10 stories like that. They're all, I think, available on the internet. They're in Dutch, unfortunately. So I've asked History Channel, 15 times now, can you please provide English subtitles? And they will be there at some stage. And it's been an enormously fun project to do. So it's nice to do something different from Oak Island, and it's nice to be back, on the Oak Island research. You will see me later in the season, and it's been crazy interesting last year.
Wow. Yeah. Tom, what do you got? Anything you want to ask?
That's fine for me. Thank you, sir, for literally taking time out of your night.
I know. Oh my gosh.
To be here.
Keeping you up so late. As soon as those subtitles appear, we'd love to share them on our Facebook group. Yes, absolutely, Linda. I agree.
I'll talk to History again tomorrow, and I'll ask them. It's a feast for the eyes. Yeah. Also, it's I think it's a good example of the responsible use of artificial intelligence. I mean, even I've used the term 100 times during this interview. I think at some stage everybody's sick of it. But you can do wonderful things with it if you apply it.
It's a good tool if you know how to use it.
Yeah.
It's like a hammer, if you knock it against your own head, it probably doesn't do good things. But it's very efficient, to knock a nail into the wood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I use AI. I'm starting to use it, at different places for the podcast and things like that. So it is a great tool. And the thing of it is, it's here to stay. It's not going away. So learn to work with it and utilize it. Take advantage of it as you can. Yeah. I mean, I've gone in there and I played around one day just telling it to make a song for me, a country song.
Oh, really? Okay.
Do this and this and this in the song and go. And it made this awesome song. I mean, it really did. It was great. I'm like,
it's scary, huh?
Well, but then again, I think, oh man, what does this do to the music? I know you are a very accomplished singer-songwriter and musician, and I mean, what does that do to that? I mean, I don't want to see that go away. I want to have real people making real good music. So
there is still no substitute for experience. So and this is something we also try to wrap our heads around in my business. I mean, when expertise becomes a commodity, it's not about what but it's what you've lived.
Yeah.
How do you assess? How do you deal with the value, with the interaction, and we need to make sure we keep bringing stuff back, to the human measure. Human intelligence is still way more interesting than artificial intelligence.
Oh yeah, for sure. All right. Well, thank you very much, Corjan. I really appreciate it. If you would hang out with us here. Folks, thank you for joining us here tonight. We appreciate it very much. We hope you have enjoyed a look into the curseofoakisland.com website and a little bit of look into what Corjan is doing now in his life and things going on. We appreciate it very much. If you like the content of the show we did here for you tonight, please consider giving us a thumbs up. And as I always say, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel. Helps us out a lot, and pass this around to your friends and colleagues, anybody that might be interested. We appreciate it very much. And again, thank you, Tom. Thank you, Linda. And again, sir, thank you, Corjan. I appreciate you coming on. You've been a great friend of the show, and can't wait to see what you're up to next. All right.
Okay. With that, we'll see each other again. Thanks, Tom. Thanks, Jeff. And thanks, everyone. Thanks so much.
All right.
Okay. Take care. Bye-bye.